Peter Thiel, his biggest mistake was investing too little, too late into cryptocurrency. That's one thing that he constantly thinks about over the past 10 years. That is one thing he wishes he could have gone back in time and fixed. Now, mind you, Peter Thiel is a billionaire. He's part of the PayPal mafia, and this was a discussion that was published exactly about the creators of the PayPal mafia. Well, not the creators, but the creators of PayPal, and then they were dubbed the PayPal Mafia because they had an absolute control. It was X.com turned into PayPal, and Elon Musk was one of those individuals, actually. So X.com was a different project, and then Peter Thiel and two others created Confinity.com, and then X.com was bought out by Confinity, and they merged, and then Confinity.com changed its name to PayPal.com, and then there was a couple of other founders. But anyways, so a lot of these guys turned into some of the most powerful people on this entire planet. And of course, some people are going to say, well, that's the greed. They always want more money. Well, yes, welcome to capitalist America, baby. So this has been one of the craziest runs we've ever seen in modern history when it comes to wealth suddenly coming into the hands of the average Joe Schmo. You had millionaires 100 years ago who were riding in carriages, golden carriages, and inventing beautiful companies. Well, maybe not the best companies at the time with horrible working conditions, but they changed the world, and they lived in absolute luxury. And nowadays, your average Dogecoin millionaire has a pizza-stained t-shirt, a mattress, and that's about it, because all of his millions of dollars are stuck in random cryptocurrencies named after dogs and memes. And this is okay, because whatever, it doesn't matter however you make your money. But one of Peter Thiel's greatest mistakes was not investing enough into Bitcoin back in 2010 and 2011 when it was on his radar. You see, there was this founders club in PayPal where all of the big honchos, they invested money into upcoming projects. And Peter Thiel actually had this whole university kind of where you left your college of choice and you took $100,000. He would give you a grant. And one of these people that received the grants was actually Vitalik Buterin, which we all know in cryptocurrency, hey, he co-founded Ethereum. So Peter Thiel would give $100,000 every year to, various people who would drop out of school, very, very bright people, and they would change the world through online startups. And it was a great success. And, they invested in a lot of venture capitalist projects where some failed, but some actually did change the world a little bit. They made that a little bit better. So these are billionaires where they're still regretting certain things because they could have done more. Just like Warren Buffett, he could have done even more. He's one of the world's wealthiest men alive. He was an amazing stock investor, but there's still certain things that he wishes he could have fixed. All of us, we've all made great life mistakes. We wish we could go back in time. I certainly have. And for Peter Thiel, back in 2011 and 2010, he could have invested in Bitcoin, but he didn't. He waited up until 2014 when, with the Founders Club, they invested big money and they made a lot of money, but they could have made a whole lot more. And the reason they didn't is because it was seen too risky at the time. A lot of people just didn't want to risk in going into the project, which wasn't really on anybody's radar except the people who were deeply involved with it at the very front, and people who knew Satoshi Nakamoto and who loved cryptography and were coders, and that's about it. And people who were just massive risk takers. It was akin to gambling in a casino. But later on, of course, it was proper investment. If you invested in 2014, hey, congratulations, Peter Thiel made a lot of money. I wish I invested earlier into cryptocurrency. All of us do. I knew about Dogecoin for a very, very long time. I played around with it, but if I had known what would be coming, I definitely would have invested more. There's so many mistakes I made with cryptocurrency, but, you can't beat yourself up over it. You can't go into the past. You can't fix these mistakes. So there's only one thing we can do. Look into the future. The greatest mistake, well, we don't know if it's going to be an absolute mistake, but we can assume that most likely, based on world events and how everything's been going over the past couple of years, crypto, whatever happens to it, whether Bitcoin's still around 10, 20, 100 years from now, there's going to be a lot of other cryptocurrency projects. And whether it is actually the revolutionary tale that everybody's spinning, or it's just an asset which is going to make us a lot of money, even if it doesn't make us absolute millionaires, it still is returning pretty good values year over year if you take out the averages. And, it's just like the indexes where the longer you hold it, the better your averages are. Because if you hold it for a shorter amount of time, well, maybe you invested in a bear market and you lost some money. So the best thing you can do is don't make the mistake and not invest at all or invest too little. Don't invest too much, but invest an amount you feel comfortable with, absolutely comfortable with. It's not going to change your bills. It's not going to, break the bank. You are comfortable putting 5% of your paycheck, 10%, maybe a couple $1,000s a year, maybe just $500. That's fine. Whatever you feel comfortable with. But of course, the more the merrier. But if you're in a position like I am right now, where you kind of can't invest into cryptocurrency because you've got so many bills, you got this and that, and I'm working on my salary, and hopefully I'm going to make more money in the summertime, and that's when I'll invest into cryptocurrency a little bit. But right now, if you're in one of those struts, that's okay. We still got a decade left, so don't beat yourself up over it. Every single time Bitcoin does go down in value, hey, a lot of people do give up on cryptocurrency, but that's probably the best time to purchase it. Again, as long as you feel comfortable with it. And I totally understand where Peter Thiel is coming from, man. That'd be crazy if we just invested a lot earlier, held on to it. That's the most important thing. Held on to it. It's not just about investing, because a lot of us would probably flip it after 3x, 5x, 10x profit, not after 100,000x or something like that. And even still, there's people holding on from frickin' 2010 right now. It's just insane. So anyways, here's to a good rest of the year. Let's not, dwell on the past, but it's pretty interesting to see a billionaire come out and say, you know what? That is one of his greatest mistakes. He wishes he could have invested earlier into it. He invested still early, and that's why he's a billionaire. He had some fantastic ideas. This guy was a genius, but there's always mistakes. There's always things he could have done better. So anyways, thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your week. Well, the weekend's almost over, so hopefully you had a good weekend, and here's to a good start on Monday. Bye.